Hello everybody, my name is Rachel and welcome to my channel, Colonnati. Today I'm going to kick off my project to read as many of the SF Masterworks as possible. The SF Masterworks are these beautiful yellow-spined matching books that sit behind me. It's a line of science fiction works published by Gollancz, which is a UK publisher. I don't actually know what the criteria are for including certain titles in this line. Gollancz has a bunch of other lines that are similar, like the Golden Age Masterworks, the SF Gateway imprint, the Fantasy Masterworks, which are the gray-spined ones sitting up there. There's a lot, and I have no idea how they actually pick and choose books for certain lines. But I have basically dedicated myself to collecting and reading a bunch of the yellow-spined titles over the past 5 or 6 years. And now that I have read about half of the ones in publication right now, I want to do a project to just read through the remaining ones and actually review them and talk about them on my channel in a consistent fashion. Some numbers to get us started. I have a list of 173 titles in the SF Masterworks collection, specifically in the new yellow-spined design. I think that 173 is probably close to the actual number. I don't know how many of these are no longer in print. Some of them may be difficult to find, and it does include a handful of books that I know aren't out yet but are slated for publication in 2020. Of those 173 books, I have already read 88 of them. This is a higher number than I thought. I would have sworn I'd only read maybe 50 of the books in this line, but the fact that I've read a lot of the Hugo, Nebula, Clark, and BSFA winners probably knocks out a bunch of them right there. I've DNF'd 4 of the titles, and I've skipped 6 either due to not liking the series or not liking the author. The 10 books that I have DNF'd or skipped are not part of this project currently, but I may come back to them sometime in the future and add them back in. This leaves 75 titles unread, of which I own 9. I have picked 35 titles from this list of 75 that I want to try to read in 2020. 35 is a little bit ambitious for a single year, and I know that. I don't actually think I'm going to read all 35 of these, but it kind of narrows down the list a little bit to some place to start. I'm going to use this as my guide, and the number is mainly there to give me motivation to read them consistently and report back on them. If it was too small of a number, I would wait until the very end of the year and just cram them all in at once, and I don't want to do that. I want to be consistent and spread this out over time. So here are the 35 books that I am going to tackle first. Rogue Moon by Algis Budrys, The Snail on the Slope by Arkady and Boris Strugatsky, Heliconia by Brian Aldiss, which is an omnibus of a trilogy, The Difference Engine by Bruce Sterling and William Gibson, The Prestige by Christopher Priest, Gem by Frederick Pohl, The Space Merchants by Frederick Pohl and C.M. Kornbluth, The Invisible Man and the Shape of Things to Come by H.G. Wells, River of Gods by Ian MacDonald, Amphirio and Night Lamp by Jack Vance, Random Acts of Senseless Violence by Jack Womack, This is the Way the World Ends by James Morrow, The Shockwave Rider by John Brunner, The Chrysalids and the Midwich Cuckoos by John Wyndham, R.U.R. and War with the Newts by Karl Čapek. I have already read R.U.R., but I haven't read War with the Newts. The Centauri Device by M. John Harrison, Sirius and Star Maker by Olaf Stapledon, Flow My Tears, The Policeman Said, and Ubik by Philip K. Dick, Tau Zero by Poul Anderson, The Door into Summer by Robert A. Heinlein, Ridley Walker by Russell Hoban. And the remaining 9 are the ones that I own, which are The City and the Stars by Arthur C. Clarke, The Continuous Catherine Mortenhoe by D.G. Compton, Swastika Night by Murray Constantine, Engine Summer by John Crowley, The Doomed City by Arkady and Boris Strugatsky, Dying of the Light by George R.R. Martin, Native Tongue by Suzette Hayden Elgin, Land Under England by Joseph O'Neill, and More Than Human by Theodore Sturgeon. That is my plan for starting this project. I hope you guys will enjoy seeing me read and talk about a lot of these books. I have two notes to end on. One is that I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to do batch wrap-ups or like bite-sized reviews for a lot of these books. Because this project will be spread out over a couple of years, it may be that I don't want to wait weeks or months to have enough books to do a proper batch wrap-up like I've done for previous projects, so I may challenge myself to do maybe smaller, less time-intensive reviews of the books if I'm not reading them close together. The other thing is many of these are old science fiction written by men, and I'm not going to like all of them. I tend to get the most abusive comments about these types of books if I don't enjoy them or I criticize them, and I have zero tolerance for abusive comments that mention my age or my gender at this point, so please don't be that person. I delete and block without thinking very much these days. That out of the way, on to more cheerful things. I am very eager and excited to get started on this project, and I really hope you guys enjoy it as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you again soon, and until then, bye.